Uh-oh, I was all on mute. I said, hello, 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 wake up. Hello, Miss Grace. How beautiful. Hello, Dee and Donna and Dawn. Hello, everybody. Great to see you. Good morning. June 23rd here, Monday morning. It feels like a Monday already, don't it? Mama's the bomb. Hello, Mama. Hello, hello, hello. I hope everybody's doing well today. I hope you brought you some strong coffee, and your alibis, honey. We ain't gonna forget them alibis again. YouTuber, hello, good to see you this morning. I'm glad everybody is here. I say morning, it is afternoon some places. It's 11:31. Lord, Smiley's behind. Hey, where's Summer and Sebastian 1-800 TBI Fine? Good morning. Good morning. I'm all choked up. Look, I'm usually good. It's, just before coffee's what you have to watch out. I've had a little bit of coffee this morning, so I should be good. I'm just all choked up still. I'm hearing that everywhere, Donna. It's hot everywhere. I think this rain that I had yesterday and this storm is going to make it a whole lot hotter, honestly. A whole lot hotter today. For sure. For sure. But I hope everybody's good. It's always good as long as there's not a crime. It's a good morning, right? Unfortunately, there's always crime everywhere. I don't know what is up with it. It's been crazy lately. Heat wave everywhere in the South. I hope you had a good vacation. I hope you had a good vacation, and I hope it wasn't too hot on you on your vacation. Oh, it's 2:32 a.m. there. Well, maybe you're getting some cool weather. I hope so. At least a little bit of a breeze, at least some nighttime air. Hey, Drew K. Hello, hello. Welcome. Good morning. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing real good today. I hope everybody's doing great. Plant lady, hello. Come in and welcome. Hope you brought your alibi and your coffee. I see you survived another day too. It's always great. It's midwinter and August. Are you serious? Lord have mercy. Hey, Holly S. Good morning. You and your blue hearts. So pretty, your hearts. Blue hearts, blue hearts. Hello. You was sick the first 3 days. Oh, no. No, 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 no. That's not good on your vacation. I know you did. You did it for them babies. Oh, I'm glad they had fun. I am so glad. I'm about ready to take me a darn vacation. I was just thinking yesterday, I'm about ready to just get out of here. Or I got to get y'all some field trips going on because I got to do something exciting. Now it's about time I do something exciting. Grace said, living room is filled with totes. Garage has Christmas in it. Now to organize. Lord help you. And Miss Grace, I've been praying for you, especially in that heat. Susan. Susan. Hey. Hey, you know who I'm talking to. You know what your name is. Girl, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Couldn't get it out. Yeah, Miss Grace, stay hydrated, please. You are Plant Lady. Plant Lady says, I'm leaving for Washington tomorrow. I'm super excited, except the plane ride. Well, we'll pray for you to have a safe plane ride. I liked Washington when I went, except for anything that's always, that's going on. I think Washington is pretty. I like it. That's just me. But hey, y'all do you. I do me. I actually liked it. She said, girl, there was so much things to do at Yogi Campground. I don't know why the F Katie never took Sebastian there. And I'm more mad at her now. Sebastian would have had a ball there. And we've talked about that. I don't understand it. He would have had so much fun. There were so many things in his life, but especially since they were there all the time. I don't understand it. I never will. But that's okay. Hopefully he'll get home and his dad can take him to all the places and will that he did not get to go. And should have went. Should have went. And you're never too old for fun, right? I know I'm not never too old for fun, honey. I'm ready for some fun. I get these things. Y'all that really know me know I don't plan nothing. But when I get a hair up my butt or a feather in my eye or something, I'm ready to just go. I'm ready to go. I was talking to my brother this morning, and I was going to go in this month. And I told him, I said, I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. You okay? He's like, yeah. I told him we're trying to get this thing going with, what's going on with Sebastian and stuff. And I said, I'd rather, this is just our language. I'd rather kill two birds with one stone and come at the same time, especially since all that happened with my mom. I was going back and forth. I said, so if you're okay, I put it off for a couple more weeks. He said, yeah, I'm fine. So, it may be a couple weeks, but there's some things in the works, for that. I'll just let others take care of that right now. Hey, Michelle. Hello, everybody. Hello. And just know that Seth is still working on Sebastian's Law, and he does have plans to hopefully speak with Marcia soon. I hope that works out, and just keep his name and face out. And hopefully he'll be talking about that law soon. Google it, y'all. Would have spaghetti pancakes for breakfast. I'm so sick of pancakes. I tell you what, I don't know if I even want another pancake. I would say I would Google it, y'all, and try it, but I don't know about all that. I don't know if I would even want to try that. That don't even sound good to me, to be honest with you, but I don't know. Somebody said it's more like a funnel cake. I do like funnel cakes, though. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, Val, welcome. Hello. No, I'm not, Connie. I am from, I live here, but I am from Nashville originally. I'm going to do more of these. There's a reason, if y'all stick around to listen to this, there's something I don't talk about much because there's something I've been working on for 5 years, and I'm not going to go all into it, but I can't talk about this without talking about that. So some of you may be surprised to know, and that's okay. That's y'all's opinion. But I am going to bring this forward today only because I am going to do her, okay? And we'll get into Jacqueline. I'm going to do a lot more cases local here as well, since I come on a couple of times now a day. But just don't be surprised at anything, okay? And again, I can't say one thing without saying the other. I tried. It's just impossible. Hey, Connie. Oh, I'm sorry she passed away. Oh, many prayers to you. Yes, a beautiful place. I have a place at both places. I'm dual, so I go back and forth. I just don't, I don't want to live in Nashville. Let's say that. It's so big. This is a calm to me. This is calm. Hey, Loretto. Hello, everybody coming in. You thought it would be fun? Google it. It probably would be fun. Probably. I hope everybody's having a great day. I honestly do. Susan, everybody. Well, I got my coffee, so I guess we're in coffee and crime together this morning. We're going to talk about a cold case, but actually, the thing about here is, on this case, is it's still very much active, okay, behind the scenes. But we're going to talk, and wasn't she beautiful? She really was. We're going to talk about Panama City Beach's April 1986 spring breaker, Jackie Brandt, how she vanished. She was from Illinois. We're going to talk about her a minute. Anybody coming in, welcome. And if y'all remember, please hit the thumbs up. Yes, she was beautiful, beautiful. She was a spring breaker just like anybody else. She was 18, and she began her carefree vacation, which ended in tragedy here. And I'm going to talk about Jackie for a few minutes. I'm going to tell this story for two reasons. For two reasons. Yes, she was 1-800. I'm not going to get too deep into one of the reasons, but at least not now, today. But I can't, again, talk about one without talking about the other. But Jackie still deserves justice, okay? But, and I think she needs justice no matter who is guilty. It is still unsolved, Michelle. It is. Let me get to the punchline, if you will, if you don't mind, for the people that don't know. Because I know if you're local and you know about these cases, some of you are going to know, okay? But some of you are not going to know what I'm fixing to have to put in there, okay? But I said no matter who's guilty, Jackie's disappearance and her death that happened in this high traffic area of spring break. And back then in the 80s, it was definitely booming, okay? Compared to what it is now. It's just an alarming reminder of the dangers that tourists can face, okay? Even in their own paradise, like we were talking about yesterday. Again, back then, spring break was something it no longer is today in 2025. Okay? Not here. Not here. A lot of that we don't put up with that here anymore. And back then, hey, I was in Tennessee and I come down here. I had my fun, fair share of it as well. Me and my husband. Please don't let your kids come act a fool here. I'm just saying. They ain't kidding now when they say you come to Panama City Beach on vacation and you leave on probation. That's 99% of them, honey. They don't play. They don't play. And back in the 80s, like we were talking about, on another live, just a fun live, ain't nothing like it was in the 80s. But Jackie did nothing wrong. Let me get that clear. And her name is Jacqueline. They call her Jackie. Okay. She was 18. She came from Illinois on spring break in Panama City Beach in 1986 to have fun and visit on spring break, just like anyone else. She did not deserve all of this. Jackie and her whole life that she had in front of her was just gone, taken away. And she should have been able to make it back home to her family after having fun. Yeah, mine too, y'all. Those were the best years and a blast. You're right, a blast from the past. So April 15th, 1986, Jackie was last seen in Panama City Beach. Her family reports her missing. And then on November 30th, 1986, a hunter discovers her skeletal remains off of Back Beach Road in a wooded terrain area. And her death was ruled a homicide. But the exact cause could not be determined at that time due to decomp. Now here's where it gets sticky. There was a suspect and a confession, okay? In 2000, I'm going to try not to look at the chat a minute because it will distract me. Right here, I know it will. In 2007, Mark Reeby, a convicted serial, confessed and later retracted to unaliving Jackie. He claimed he met her at a bar known as the Playground. He said he asked her, strangled her in a car and buried her. And he described the clothing. He accurately pinpointed the burial site within 10 feet of where her remains were later found. He also said he buried her car 10 foot deep. Okay, y'all don't jump. I know all this. This is where I said it gets sticky. Now, about 4 years ago, I went and I sat about 8 hours with Mark Reeby at Blackwater Prison, face to face. Not for Jackie, but for Pamela June Ray, who is now still missing here. Y'all remember back the first time I got COVID? Or, whoops, we say that on here. Y'all remember that? Yep, I drove home sick. I don't know if I got it there at the prison or not, but that is neither here nor there. But I went and I sat with him. Prior to that, I have all kinds of letters and stuff that was written, but that again is neither here nor there. I sat with him all that long, and we discussed every person allegedly, including Jackie. Not yet. I'm not going to give you my opinions or whatever at this time because I don't want to bring that to the forefront at this time. That's not why I'm saying that, to say this. Today, it's about Jackie. She was a beautiful mother, and she traveled here on vacation. Or we're talking about Pam now. I went there because of Pamela June Ray. And I think that case got a lot of attention because she traveled here on vacation with her children back at that time. And she left them in the car that night to try to go get a room key, if y'all remember that. And it's a lot more to it than that. But she ended up disappeared as well. And there also was a big confession from Mark in that case to when he called his mother to her dad that happened to be at his mother's house. And why, for the life of me, I don't know, but he told, I do know, but anyway, he told, why somebody would be that cruel is what I'm trying to get at. He told him that he also unalived Pamela June Ray. Okay, unforgivable. But then he recanted that. He recanted a bunch others. Okay. The reason he's in there now is for the Donna Callahan, which I have talked about, murder. And he is in closed custody. He's got life in prison and So does his brother, which is over in a whole nother county, which is very complicated. So again, we're not getting into all that right now. But you can't kind of talk about that and talk about Jackie. But there was a confession. Mark Reedy in 2007, a convicted killer, confessed and later retracted to killing Jackie. He claimed he met her at this bar over here on Panama City Beach. It's no longer there, I don't think, but it was called the Playground. He said he strangled her in the car and buried her, and described her clothes and pinpointed the burial within 10 feet. And he also, and the remains were found that, yes, Val, but none has been proven except one. So it's complicated. And that's what he admitted to. We'll get to that. And you say, well, how did he get the clothes exact? Well, that's a long story too. I don't know. But 100% with Jackie, I don't know with Jackie. But I know with Pamela and others, it was said that one of the cops fed him some information. See, it's a little bit confusing unless you know the whole story. He actually, or the cops actually befriended him, okay? He even has ties to Illinois. It has nothing to do with Jackie. He even befriended Dennis Haley, which is, we'll get there in a minute, but, and another main cop. Went to Illinois, there was a fallout or whatever. But, it was said, like I said, I don't know. Gosh, these ads, stop it. I'm not interested in buying that crap. It was said, that they fed him information. I don't know with Jackie, but I'm speaking now with Pamela June Ray. In exchange for him confessing to all of these, that they would protect his son, which was having some other issues on the outside, which was being, and I hate to put this out here, harmed, abused, and all these things. Back in the 80s, we're talking about. So there's that. And then when he did that, the Dennis Haley allegedly reneged on his part after Mark did the confessions and all that. Now his brother's already in jail on one other thing and some other stuff, and he has the worst things. But anyway, and when Dennis reneged, that greatly upset Mark. And so he took back all of his confessions. Was he being fed information? I don't know. Was there corruption? I don't know. I'm just telling you the story. Is it possible? Yes, of course it is possible it happened. I don't know that special agent, Dennis Haley, who is now retired, who is very old and lives in Pensacola, Florida, did anything. I don't know that. But we know things happen. We also know Mark is not innocent. We also know he's not innocent of other things, such as Donna Callahan, nor is his brother. But did he do all the rest? And Jacqueline? Jackie's death is potentially linked up to a dozen other unalivings in the same area, in the same region, raising all of these concerns about many, many victims. Some are still cold cases. Some also highlight risk faced by young travelers and underscores the challenges that in prosecuting crimes years later without physical evidence, even with confessions, hey, wait, what? That it brings. And that's another thing I wanted you to know. But Jackie Bryant left her home in Illinois, excited for sun, fun, sand, and spring break here in Panama City Beach, Florida. She was young and very full of life. She had no idea she would never return home again. None of us leaving out this door to go anywhere never have the thought, or it don't cross our minds, that we're never coming back should something like this happen. Again, back in the 80s, this town was booming with parties, music, people on top of cars, going down, the main street, all the things. But somewhere along Back Beach Road, her dream and her vacation turned into a whole nightmare. It was a spring break gone wrong for Jackie. August 15th, 1986, Jackie vanished. Her friends reported her missing. And with all the spring break chaos, her disappearance barely made the news. And to me, that's sad. That is really sad in itself. Again, months passed. It was November 30th to be exact. A hunter stumbled upon her skeletal remains hidden in the woods, just right there off of Back Beach Road. Now, her dental records confirmed the worst part. That was Jackie. So more than 3 decades later, her murder remains unsolved, and her family and her friends and her other community there in Illinois and here still ask, who really took Jackie's life? And how many other young women fell victim to the same fate? Are they still out there? I live here. I still wonder that. I met this man eye to eye. I could reach out and touch him. I did touch him. Do you understand me? What I'm telling you? I was not behind glass. There's no public record indicating that DNA evidence was recovered from Mark Reeby, specifically linking him to Jackie Bryant case. There are no records of any new or advanced DNA testing being conducted since Mark's confession. So there is new technology. And this new technology, we know there's extraction of DNA from minimal or degraded samples, including the hair roots, including just a little bit of bone fragments, including her teeth, which we know that's how she was verified through dental records, even when they're skeletonized. DNA can match. So, and, it can be through the bones or the teeth to identify. So they could re-examine the clothing and the items if they preserved it correctly, or her belongings. They could do new trace evidence. That testing would reveal the touch DNA from the skin cells, the hair, the fibers, any unknown blood, sweat, or samples like that they could do. But if that evidence was poorly stored, that DNA is at risk. And without any existing biological samples from Mark in evidence, which to compare or consent a court order. Now, let's put this out here, though. He has plenty of DNA on file. Believe me. And they have come back and swabbed. But, and he's in close custody for life. Again, for the M of someone else, a store clerk. So why can they figure out? Why would they not figure out if he's innocent or not? It makes no sense to me. But it's been over 35 years that's passed. So in Jackie's case, time is not on her side, but she does need justice. What authorities would have to do, and some of it would have to be at the request of her family, they would have to actively reopen this case, locate and re-examine all preserved evidence, and consider exhuming, to do any updated DNA samples, if not already on file by Mark, but I'm telling you they are. And explore any forensic genealogy if, they could be isolated. But while challenges exist, applying this forensic science could still bring answers in Jackie's case, especially if her remains and her belongings was preserved, and if law enforcement re-engages with the case using today's tool. Right, Val? Some places destroy this evidence after it's been there so long. That's a fact. And regardless, the part on Jackie's is, he claimed that he buried her off of Back Beach Road. Okay, we know that's where she's found, yada, yada, yada. And he recanted his story. Okay, but this is my question. Y'all might want to help me with this one. My question is, I don't care who it was. How did he, especially by himself, without being noticed, bury her car, for one, and for two, bury it 10 feet deep? That's pretty deep. And someone would have noticed. And then still, there's no evidence or no record that in that entire case that the car was buried. And logically, burying a whole car by yourself in the sand or dirt of Panama City Beach would be nearly impossible without some sort of heavy, you would need a backhoe, without some sort of heavy equipment, a lot of time, and high risk of being seen. Think about that. So, and then, even if you got away with that, would people not notice that there was a newly fresh, huge dug hole? It makes no sense. And no, the absence of her car being located still complicates everything because it never was found. And it complicates verifying Mark Reeby's confession, especially since he claimed all that took place in a vehicle. Because that vehicle, if that's where it took place, could hold all the DNA in the world. So they don't make no sense at all without the car. Why didn't they dig up all around there or go see if they could find? That makes no sense. I'm just saying. That piece right there, that car, to me, would have been very critical to this investigation. But again, there's no publicly documented eyewitnesses who even recall seeing Jackie at the playground bar on that night she disappeared, which is kind of strange to me. That's kind of strange. Here's what we know. Mark Reedy, a convicted SKILLER, claimed in 2007 he met Jackie at this bar known as the Playground, and that she left with him, which nobody can verify. He also described her clothing to be correct and to the lead investigator, and he took them back over to the burial spot within 10 feet of where she was. Again, no car. Investigators confirmed that he knows several things that only that person would know, according to Captain Jimmy Stanford. Now, Jimmy's a good man, okay? Here's the issue. There's no independent witnesses from that night confirming Jackie was seen at that bar. That's just strange to me. The confession remains the only source linking Jackie to the bar, and possibly him. He later recanted, but that's not the only one, and that's not why. Where is the surveillance footage? There's no eyewitnesses to go back it up. So what really happened to Jackie? I do want to know what happened to Jackie. Without any independent witnesses or any evidence or proof, nobody can confirm whether she was ever even at that bar that night, like Mark claimed. Why do people give confessions like that? And, why do they? They like the recognition, the narcissism, all the things. It's a lot, okay? I'm just saying, why would people do that? Look, Panama City's had its fair share of stories and things happen, but Jackie, in my opinion, still deserves justice. She still deserves justice. She was found, but she still deserves justice, and people still need to know what happened to her. No matter what happened to her, no matter who done it. Yeah, where's all of Jackie's friends? That's what I'd like to know. Where is all of her friends? There was not a lot of news coverage on Jackie in this story. Jackie needs to get the justice she deserves. Look how pretty she was. If you know something after all of these years, people don't forget. If you were her friend, if you were here with her, if, anything, if you saw something, if you were at the playhouse, did you see Mark there? Did you see Mark and her leave? Did you see her leave with somebody else? Did you work there possibly? Sometimes it only takes one voice, one tip, and years later to finally bring justice. If you see something, say something, and please contact Bay County Crime Stoppers. Their number is 850-785-TIPS. That is 850-785-8477. They have a toll-free number also, 1-888-804-TIPS or 1-888-804-8477. You can also do it anonymous, and their website is www.floridacrimestoppers.org. I'll say it again, www.floridacrimestoppers.org. If you know anything about what happened to Jackie Bryant or any other unsolved crime in Bay County area, please call Crime Stoppers anonymously. Please. She deserves justice just like anybody else. And it don't matter where it came from. It don't matter who did it. It just don't matter. Val, they found her skeletal remains. I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not, but they did find her skeletal remains. So anyway, thank you for being with me today, and I will be back on later tonight. And you never know who might see the case, who might know something and say something. And this is being so long ago, but if you do, please help her get justice. And it's not too late for her justice. Okay? So thank you, and thank you, mods. Thank you all, and have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.